Hey, hey, Spurs fans. Paul Hotspur hippie here. Peace and love, peace and love. The only psychedelic soccer show on the internet, apparently. So I've heard from the kids on the street. Just thought I'd do a quick lo-fi stream here, but I've got some lights and things happening, so it is a bit psychedelic, eh? Um, just thought I'd do a bit of a stream today because I want to draw a bit of a contrast, and I'll come on to the comments soon because I've got nothing really. I've got nothing for you except this situation that's developing with Eric Dier, which I'm really not happy about. And one of the things that's springing to my mind is it's a conversation I had with a mate of mine a couple of days ago after he went to the Man United game at Tottenham because he's a Spurs fan, and he told me something I hadn't really thought about it, but the more I'm thinking about it, the more I think, yeah, you might have a point here, and that is that Harry Kane could have, sat around for a year or played for us and scored 30 goals, which would have been nice. And bearing in mind, I didn't want to let Harry Kane go. So this is my start point. I didn't want Harry Kane to go. I thought it was a mistake, the club selling him and all that sort of shenanigans. But he got interest from Bayern Munich, got a good offer, and then left it up to the club. If they could get a good enough price, then he was willing to go. And so in some ways, even though I'm really kind of gutted, although I'm not gutted anymore, I was gutted at the time, but that was like 2 weeks ago. It was ancient history. That he went. At least the club did benefit out of it. And now I'd just like to draw a murky contrast between that and the situation of England's #1 defender, yes, our former captain of at least one game that I saw, Eric Dier. And I've got a bit fired up about this because a little while ago, I watched a video on Henry Wright TV where he's like bagging Dier, and it got me fired up because everything he said is true, and it's what I felt, and it's what I've been saying for quite a while anyway. Eric Dier has the audacity to say he wants to fight for his place. He wants to, his preferred option is, okay, yeah, I'll go away next year on a free. And I know there's this individualistic thing, and, who's to say how any of us would behave in that situation, where, your career's up for grabs or whatever. But, I mean, how much money is enough, man? How much money is enough? And I asked the question, what's he really done for this club, apart from piss me off consistently over basically every time I've watched him play? Eric Dier has been a guy that's consistently shirked responsibility. He hides. He hides on the pitch. There's ways of doing that when you're a footballer. You can kind of get sort of, between a player and that, and you can get close to an opposing player, and you might look as if you're calling for the ball, but you're really not. As a defender, got me so fired up, this Henry Wright video, and I do like watching Henry Wright, but he got me fired up because because he was right, Henry Wright, I suppose, man. It got me so fired up, I re-edited my Art of Defending video with Eric Dier that I did for Irish Hotspur a while ago, and I've re-uploaded it on my channel, and it's going gangbusters. People are watching it, which is kind of cool. But I just don't like the cut of the guy's jib. He hides on the pitch. He defends with his arms behind his back. One of the things that really tipped me over was that a couple of years ago when he went tearing off into the stands to protect the honour of the Dier family. Well, dickhead, maybe if you put a decent performance on the pitch, that's the best way to protect your family, sunshine. Not go tearing off into the ground and picking on fans that have probably paid their good money to watch you be a complete muppet time and time again. I don't think there was any threat of violence or anything like that against his family. It was just mouthy stuff, as we all do from time to time. And he took it upon himself to defend his honour. And I thought it was absolutely disgraceful behaviour for a professional footballer that's on £80,000 a week. £80,000 a week. There's your ticket prices right there. Eric Dier's salary. So I just wanted to do a quick stream tonight. I'm going to come to the comments because really that's the only talking point I've got tonight. It might be a short stream unless the chat keeps me going. Super chats and memberships are available as always. Between Harry Kane, who kind of left, if he's going to go, did it in a really good way, and Eric Dier, who's just hanging around. I hate to use this description, but it's quite graphic. But it's like the last bit of dog. You know, you're treading dog poo, and you realise you've done it about half an hour later. By the time you've traipsed it all through your car and your house, and you get your ex-wife's toothbrush, and you clean it all out, and there's always a bit left. That bit left is Eric Dier. This transfer window, right? I'm quite chill about it. I did a video earlier about it. I'm quite zen. I'm quite chill about it because I like the way Ange has taken control. He's saying the squad's mine, which kind of implies, you can buy and sell who you want, but I'm going to dictate who gets minutes, who plays for Tottenham Hotspur. And so once you've really you've nailed your flag to that mast pole, when you've set out your stall like that, and you've said, well, I assert control over the 25-man squad, the rest of the transfers kind of follow on from that. So I'm kind of cool about it all. If we don't do any more business this summer, it'll give Ange time to feel out the rest of the players. I'm fine with that. But one player I really do want gone is Eric Dier. I really do want him gone. I think he's a bad influence. I think Ange has done a really good thing by making Heung-min Son captain and Romero vice captain at the back and Maddison vice captain in midfield, because I think that's a really good way of disrupting that old world order, which is rapidly disintegrating. If you look at this players committee that we've had knocking around for a few years, Harry Kane, he's gone, sadly. Didn't want him to go, but oh well, we got a few quid for him. Time marches on. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who might be on his way out, but he had a good game. In fairness to him, I thought he had a really good game against Manchester United. Who else was in it? Eric Dier, Ben Davies, and Oliver Skip. And that whole machinery, I think, has been very successfully dismantled by Ange. Maybe not as a political thing, but he's just picked the players that he wants to be part of Tottenham Hotspur. And there's some players that are just going to feature bit parts from now on. So I hand it over to you in the chat now. That's about all I've got to go for tonight. I just felt like having a bit of a chat about Tottenham, really. I'm looking forward to Bournemouth. A little bit tentative because, Ange might swap a couple of players out just to try some things, just to mix it up a bit. And, when you do things like that, it might not come off. I don't think it's like a terminal failure or anything like that. But, we might have a little bit of that before we get going like that. I think I'm very hopeful that it's not going to be that bad, though, when we've got players like Lo Celso playing very well in pre-season. Now, let's go to the chat. Let's have a look here. And I might be a bit slow on this because I'm doing this all on my iPhone. My PC is a bit wobbly, so I thought I'd give you a lo-fi version and at least have some spectacular lighting effects. You don't get lasers like that for less than $15 out of J-Car, I'm telling you. But I wanted it to be more reliable, you know, because, you know, people come and they watch the stream, and when it hangs up, I don't want to let people down, you know. I don't feel bad about it, but it's just like, it's a bit of a bummer, isn't it, when you want to watch something, and I'm assuming you guys out there want to watch me for some reason, which is kind of cool. But, you know, when I want to watch someone myself, and the whole thing goes to shit, I'm a bit disappointed. It's not their fault, you know, but I thought we'll go reliable tonight. Ben Williams, a member of the Hotspur hippie commune. Peace and love, man. Morning commune. After the joy of the weekend, is anyone just beginning to get a little frustrated again about the lack of transfer movement? Like I said, Ben, I'm kind of calm about it. It would be nice, but I mean, how many players have we got in our squad? Was it, well, I don't know, 35, 36? It's something ridiculous. And so I'm making lemonade out of the lemons, man. If it gives Ange more time to fill people out, make them better players, because Ange is a proper football coach. He'll make players better. Then I'm kind of cool with it. You know, it's, you know, I'm all right. I'm all right. But I get your ennui over the whole thing, and, you know, maybe give it a few more days, and maybe I'll start getting a little bit twitchy myself, man. But right at the moment, I'm all right. Hey, Yasarian, man, always in here. Thanks, Yasarian. Evening, Paul and hippies. Did anyone else see that the new unofficial Eric Dier on instructional video on defending? Pretty spot on. Well, that video, man, I did that a few months ago for Irish Hotspur, but I thought I'd re-upload it, bit of video quality, a few stupid effects and stuff like that, and just sort of, you know, bring Eric Dier into the 21st century. That was what I was trying to do, or maybe make it a little bit 1970s sort of retro. But glad you liked it, man. Glad you liked it. It was fun doing it up on the roof. Moondog, morning, Paul. Morning, man. Morning, man. Nice to see you here. I hope you're not up a roof. I hope you're working on a lathe or something safe. Goggles on, man. Goggles on. Daniel Sandoval. Hello, man. Hello. Good morning. Oh, yeah, I forgot it's morning. It's evening here. I'm starting to get a little bit tired, so I don't know how long I'll go tonight, folks. But I just felt like, you know, chewing the fat with a few Spurs people here. Nice to see you, Daniel. Ben Williams, Harry Kane didn't want to tarnish his legacy by leaving on a free. And yeah, it was really my mate of mine that kind of said the same thing. And I'd never really considered it that much before. I don't know what the truth is. You know, who knows what people are thinking or whatever. But it could be true, couldn't it? Maybe he left in a really good way in the end. Eric Dier has no reputation to tarnish. Still being a dick, though. Oh, dude. And you know, what do you say about the guy? He can speak. This is the thing I can say about Eric Dier. He might be able to speak Portuguese and fool Jose. He might be able to speak Italian and pull Les Wool, or I don't know what Italian for wool is. So Le Wool over Antonio Conte's eyes, but he sure as fuck cannot speak Australian, and Ange just sussed him out, man. Ange just sussed him out. Paul G, another member of the Hotspur hippie commune. Morning, man. Morning. Question is, Paul, why don't they just terminate some of these contracts? I don't understand it. Lloris, Dier to name two. Lloris, I'm a bit more soft going on, but Dier, yeah, I mean, what are the options? So the options are he stays at the club to try and fight for his place, which I think is a load of old shit, really, and then goes on a free. Or we put him out on loan, so we'll save some of his wages. I can't imagine another club will want to pay Eric Dier 80,000 a week. Or we just rip up his contract and maybe pay him a little bit, you know. you probably won't have to pay the full amount because he's a free agent and can get wages elsewhere. But it really just looks, it's just, I don't know, man. It just smells of cynical money grabbing. He knows if he goes on a free, he can command a lot higher wage. I don't know who from, Preston North End. I mean, where's he going to go, this guy? But he obviously thinks he's all that. Lloris, I'm a bit more forgiving of it. And don't get me wrong, like Lloris isn't one of my favourite players, especially after maybe the last season. But he has actually done a pretty good job for a lot of the years he was at Tottenham Hotspur. Dier, on the other hand, has been dog shit. Oh, I've got 2 starred. So I'm just doing this on my phone. So when it says starred, I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. Oh, it means I've got super chats. Thanks, Moondog. Okay, thanks, man. I want Richie gone. He has never been any good. Yeah, I'm trying to will him on, man. I get where you're coming from. Like, to me, my gut instinct of Richarlison is he kind of looks like a footballer, has a bit of a footballer attitude, kind of does some football things, but I don't think he's got it. I just like, his first touch is terrible. He's not a natural goal scorer. He doesn't get into space. He's not a poacher. And well, if I could bring a striker to mind, Clive Allen, right? Clive Allen. And I don't mean this in a bad way at all, because the guy was brilliant for Tottenham. But I don't think Clive Allen was like that great a footballer. He wasn't like his ball control. Yeah, he could do it now and then, but he wasn't brilliant. He wasn't a brilliant footballer. But what Clive Allen was, he was a hell of a finisher. He was a hell of a finisher. And that season he played for us in 86, 87, where, if you want to look at a masterclass of how a centre forward progresses throughout a year, obviously he's going to get the odd tap in goal or whatever, which I don't care about, because if you're in the right place at the right time, that's part of the psychic ability of a centre forward. That's not luck. But he got more audacious. Taking people on, striking, and and I'm not seeing any of that from Richie at the moment. The only glimmer of hope I can get from him at the moment is the fact that in the second half against Manchester United, he kind of got a little bit better. That's as much as I can get from him. It's up to Ange, man. If Ange sees something there, then who are we to argue? I'm all behind Ange. And another two quid super chat from Moondog. Thanks, man. I'm making musical memory boxes at the minute. What? I might have to Google that afterwards. I don't know what that is, man. Don't do another super chat just to let me know. By the way, I will Google it. I'll just go back to the normal chat, man. But thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the support, man. Super chats are available. Memberships are available. And to be quite honest, you get fuck all for your membership. It's just a way of supporting what I'm doing here on the channel. Because I try and be entertaining. And if you like it and you want to tip a couple of quid in the hat, that's all well and good. But I really don't want a paywall thing. Hotspur hippie, not Hotspur Hopkins. I'm not into pricing people out of the fun that I try and bring people onto this channel with. That's why I've made the membership, like the low tier, quite cheap, because I figure, if you want to just give a couple of bucks, then you can. I've also got some outrageous, scurrilous membership levels. You don't get anything extra for that, by the way, but I figure, some rich bugger comes along and wants to feed the poor, then they can do it that way. Now I missed a few. Wow, there's a few chats here. Oh wow, I've missed loads of chats. Man, there's loads of chats. What's going on? I've got to scroll through. Okay. Professional YouTuber. Paul G, member of the commune, terminated, get him off the wage bill. Absolutely, man. I 100% agree with that. Edward White of Oz, good lesson on defending. You need to work on your tan. I can tan, but it's got to be a gradual process, Unfortunately, somewhere in my genetics, I come from the breed of North European mutants that kind of lost contact with the sun. And now I've moved to a country where there's lots of sun everywhere. And, the prevailing opinion may be, the people that look like me are superior, but I think I'm just a bit of a mutant. And I'd like to have been in Australia 50,000 years ago, to be honest. Ben Williams, another member. Romero seemed to benefit from the vice captain role. Yeah, he did, man. Dare I say some maturity was present? Yeah, I think so. But look, I've always, since we got him, I thought Romero's always been our best captain. And I think some of the rashness he showed last year, look, I wasn't even that pissed off by it, to be honest. I thought it was good, robust defending, leaving a mark on an attacker. And I think he was frustrated at what was going on the pitch as well, perhaps. But now, I mean, it's not only that he's vice captain, he's got a great partner by him. And I'm really excited to see the partnership that's starting to flourish between him and Van der Ven. I think it's awesome. There was one point in the second half where Romero's about to header it out. And I think Van der Ven must have given him a shout. He left the ball, let him go for it. And I don't think that would have been happening if Eric Dier was behind him. Well, Eric Dier wouldn't have been behind. Oh, God, Eric Dier. Just go, man. Just go, please. Hey, Chris, Meta Football TV. Morning, man. You look vintage today. Nice touch. Yeah, stay safe, people. No worries, man. I've got my 99 kit on. Akshay Bhushan. Afternoon, Paul. How you doing? How you doing? Love the caption for the live today. I wonder why so many of our players are thick-skinned apart from the dollar part. Hang on. Love the caption for the live today. Did I can't even remember. I don't know. I just typed some shit, man. So, but thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, thick-skinned apart from the dollar part. It's just... Again, Hotspur hippie. Money has just fucked the world. It's got to such an extent, hasn't it? It's got to such a ridiculous extent now. I was having a chat with my daughter on the weekend after she won her district final in a football team. She's a Spurs fan, so yeah. And we were having a chat about the women's game. And look, I find I'm going to be honest here. I find the women's game quite hard to watch at times because I'm used to watching, men's football. But to say that, there isn't enough money to plough into their game so that they can play better and focus on the game is ridiculous, I think. I mean, already, like in the last even 5 years, I've seen the standards of women's soccer rise incredibly as more funding has come in. But we live in this world where, we say, oh well, if they want to earn as much, then they've got to sell the tickets, they've got to get the advertising revenue, and you got to remember there is absolutely hundreds of billions of dollars floating around sport. Surely we could do a bit better. Warrior without mast. Dyer is Dyer. Please retire. Yeah. That could be a chant. Ben Williams, do you think the Lukaku links were entirely Fleet Street hack bullshit? Fleet Street meathead hacks, man. They're just itching for a story. No, of course it is. I can't imagine Ange would want him for a second. I can't either. Why would you? He's a guy that's flopped around and buggered it up from pillar to post. But if Ange wants him, then I'll change my mind. But I can't imagine. It seems to me it's just like it's like agent talk. Agents they get into the papers, they fluff their players up. Like a fluffer. We all know what a fluffer is. If you're my age, you know what a fluffer is anyway. Just to bounce up the price, and I don't think there was any truth in it at all. Warrior Without Master, sub to the Gandalf Spurs channel. Thank you very much. And as Eric Dier would say, you shall not pass. Leanne Rolfe, if players don't fit anymore, then they got to go, regardless of price. Out. I'll tell you what, Ange, I don't know if people realise this in England yet. Like Ange, he's quite avuncular. He's very straightforward. He's very honest. But, man, he's fucking ruthless as well. He really is. He doesn't mind doing a clear out. In fact, I think pretty much every club he's gone to has involved some sort of a clear out. So it doesn't matter if it's a fan favourite or whatever. If he doesn't like the way it's going, if it's not going in his direction, then he'll just ship him out, man. That's what he does. That's what he does. And there's nothing personal about it. For instance, it was Harry Kuehl, who you may remember as being a fantastic player. Harry Kuehl, towards the end of his career, I can't remember if it was either... Actually, is it Harry Kuehl? I think it was Harry Kuehl. He's done this with a few players, so you might have to fact check me. I'm not going to be someone who says, I give you the facts, not feelings. I just give you feelings, man. I give you feelings and emotions. That's all I can give you. I can't give you any facts. Hotspur hippie, man. It's not Hotspur Piers Morgan. But I think Harry Kuehl was one of the players he cleaned out at... I don't know if it was Melbourne Victory or Melbourne Heart or Brisbane Roar. But the point I'm saying is that he cleared him out from somewhere, a respected senior player, and then when he went to Celtic, when Postecoglou went to Celtic, he brought Harry Kuehl back on as a coach. So it's not a personal thing with Ange. It's not going to be all it's not going to be all mouthy shouty stuff. It's just going to be this is the way it is, and players often do come back to him. I don't think he forced Mile Jedinak out of the Australian team because he picked him as captain. I think he was still captain when he left, but I think there's a couple of examples where Ange has said goodbye to players, but brought them back later, many, many years later as coaching staff, and it's all gone really well because they still respect the guy. Let's have a look here. Warrior Without Master, sorry, scrolling. It's like cutting the end off, so I've got it now, man. Warrior Without Master. The breakup of the old leadership team isn't a bad thing. I think it's fantastic. I love it. That that's gone. And I'm glad that somehow it's been able to happen because, these were the cabal, the players that used to go off to Levy and moan about managers and things like that. And so breaking up for a mere mortal would have been a difficult thing, but Ange seemed to manage it quite easily. Now there is a bit more scope for change of the guard. Absolutely, man. And what a change of the guard we got. Average team age against Man United was 25. Oh, man, you're still going here. Bloody hell, man. I'm still a Richie fan for this season. Brazilian number 9 is passionate, just needs some guidance. That's why I'm just holding out hope, man. I'm holding out hope. I think sometimes it might be a bit of blind hope with Richarlison, but if I was a football manager, which I'm not, I can't even kick a ball. I'm just some hobo on a shit couch. That's all I am, man. That's as far as my football knowledge goes. But if I was in the position of Ange, I would give Richarlison another 60 minutes and see what he has. Steady as sharp. Richie has talent. Steady as sharp. One of the earliest members of the commune. Welcome, man. I probably said that earlier. Richie has talent. You don't almost win the Puskas Award around without a decent level of technical ability. His issues can be worked on by Ange. I hope that's true. The only thing I'd say about that Puskas Award was that for his goal in the World Cup for Brazil. I mean, it was a great goal, but it was a bit of a training ground exercise. He was in a lot of space. No one was challenging him. So I've got question marks over him. I hope he comes good. I really hope he comes good, because I do like his attitude, but he needs to be a footballer. Wow, what's this name? Lokman Yunus Ujin. I hope I haven't really butchered that, by the way, man. Hi everyone, big up. Hashtag Levy out. Yeah, why not have a random Levy out here? Why not? You get fuck all for your membership. I don't have much to talk about today. Advertising, I'll be happy. So to be fair, honesty is the part of it. Well, you know, it's like I mean, I can see the channel growing, man. I can see it growing, and I can see revenue start to come in from YouTube, and you know, so I'm doing something right. And it's not my first rodeo. I've done shit like this before. So, but you know, I don't want to get people spending money under false pretenses or anything like that. You know what I mean. Thanks, man. But I appreciate it. You know what you get for your membership? You get a bit of nice karma, and you get my best wishes. That's what you get. Wow, how about that? And it's to say thank you. You know, Moondog. It's for parents to keep their newborn baby bits in like scan pictures, their lock of hair name tag. Oh, right. Oh my God. So you're on about the now let me just get to it. What was it? It was a musical memory box. Okay, gotcha. Wow, okay, that's far out, man. Are you doing that? Is it like laser cut? Or are you like doing? I don't even know, man. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to crafting things. But okay, that's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Ben Kaufman, woo! Hello, everyone. It's another day. Well, it is for you. It's nearly the end of my day, but that's because you know, the world is round. Pommy Spur, hey man. Finally made it back, driving home and listening. I'm glad I bought in early to your Ange theory. Oh, look, it's only because I've seen him. This is the thing. Like, I'm not a G. Like, as I said, I'm just some crap arsehole on a couch. That, you know, it's just that I've seen Ange for 20 years. That's all it is. I'm not some sort of, you know, it's not like I've scouted a 13-year-old kid that is going to be ready for the first team in 5 years. You know, I've been watching a bloke who's now 57, 58 years old do his shit for 20 years. So I'm no rocket scientist, man. But it's good. You know what? I'm loving the way that everyone's bought in so early. I knew they would. I absolutely had no doubt that everyone would be behind Ange eventually. I thought it might take a couple of games, but just seeing that reception he got at the Man United game, it's like, wow, you know, gives me heart. Makes me think that, you know, Tottenham Hotspur supporters are some of the smartest cats out there, because they like what he said. They could see already that he wasn't full of shit, even before we kicked the ball. So kudos to Tottenham Hotspur fans, man. Based on last 3 seasons, I feel like I'm almost watching the 91 semi-final in each game. Yeah, no, Man United game, I was cock a hoop, man. I know that feeling, man. And I don't know if you remember, like in the lead up to '91, is we were a bit sketchy in the league, you know, here and there, and but we put a run together in the cup. Maybe that's what we could do this year. How about that? Leanne Rolfe, Dier and Ndombele both reject moves according to reports. Ah, it's horrible, isn't it? It's horrible. I mean, I like player power, but you know, but that's coming from like a support the workers kind of thing. But when you're on like 80 grand a week, I don't have too much sympathy for you, man. Tom says, why are Dyer, Tanganga, Lloris, Sanchez, Hoiberg still there is making me mad. I get it, man. Look, I'm kind of okay with it, you know, because Ange is not going to pick people that are at the club hanging about. He's not going to pick them in his 25-man squad if he's not confident. So they might still be there. And I mean, out of the players you've listed there, like Dyer, please go. Tanganga, Lloris, well, he's trying to get a move out. He'll be gone. Sanchez had a couple of good games under Ange, to be honest. Hoiberg played all right last game. You know, if we want to bring other players in, I suppose maybe I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth, Tom. But if you're talking about you want to upgrade those players, then I totally understand it. Ben Kaufman, Lukaku is so bad that Juventus fans are begging for Tottenham to sign him. And Regulon, yeah, I'd add him to my shit list as well, Tom, you know. They're off. Ruthless he might be, but Spurs need to match his energy and ambition to be ruthless themselves. They won't have a choice. They won't have a choice. They won't have a choice. Ange is so good at his job. You can see what he's got instantly 60,000 fans all shouting his name, who maybe, you know, 3 months ago were skeptical, didn't really know anything about him, thought, you know, why are we getting some Australian in? He's only managed from the Scottish League. And I'm not saying I get that, you know, I understand it. You know, if you're not familiar with someone's work and they come in, you're going to be really super skeptical. But you imagine he's done that to all the fans. You imagine what he's doing to the boardroom there. I'll just leave that with you. What influence is he having there? He's influenced us already. Flips MC, hey Paul, man, how freaking great and funny has it been watching England be wooed by Ange and his game? I speak an Australian here. And his game, as geezers like you and I have been saying, they would since they were sniffing around Slot and Co. Yeah, I didn't want Slot. I didn't want Slot. No. That's why. Yeah, I know, man. That's why I did a video like months ago saying no. We got to get Ange. So I mean, yeah, and like, you know, Australia, I suppose it's got a reputation of not being high up on soccer. And I think that's deserved because I think there's a lot of things against football in this country. You know, the ruling class. I'm going to get hippie, Hotspur hippie. The ruling classes, people that go to posh private schools, people that play rugby union, the media, politicians, except when it suits them. But you can't say that about football fans in Australia. Football fans in Australia are just as knowledgeable, just as passionate as any fans I've known in England, you know. So, you know, when I see a comment like this from Flips MC, you know, you can't generalise and say no Australians. What do Australians know about football? You know, generally, you know, you can't say anything. Specifically, if you're talking about Australian football fans, they know a hell of a lot, and they've probably done a bit more than people in other countries to actually follow their sport and be passionate about it. It's just the overall, you know, the amount of soccer or football supporters in this country is small compared to every other bloody sport. But yeah, no, man, it's been fun, hasn't it? It's been fun seeing them. Because yeah, I mean, you know, when we won the 2015 Asian Cup, we weren't going to win that. That's what Ange does, man. Tom gets these out, and maybe we can bring 2 or 3 more players in. That's what Ange wants. I don't know if it's dependent on it, and Ange did say it's not necessarily dependent on it. I think, you know, it's going to. He's putting pressure on the board. I think he maybe wants players in, but he does want his focus is on trimming the squad. He wants to get it down to 25. If it's 25 players he wants, then, you know, that's the aim, isn't it? Ben Williams, if Dier and Ndombele refuse moves, that would literally stop us getting the likes of Orban and Tosin. We must never forget this. I don't know if it would. Well, okay. Okay, it might do, but it shouldn't really. It shouldn't really. We're a rich club. We can afford to do this, but we can also afford to get rid of these players, as other big clubs do. If we're not happy with them, pay them out, fob them off, get them on. Okay, you make a loss. You might have to pay their wages for 5 bloody years or whatever. But I don't think that's. I'd like to think that. Well, okay, it shouldn't be stopping players coming in, but you're right. It probably is. I can't argue with you, man. You know, this isn't a debate channel. It's not a debate. I'm not into internet debates. I'm into, you know, finding common ground. Common ground. We might disagree with each other, but there's always a nugget in there somewhere. There's always a nugget in there somewhere, even if that nugget just happens to be, we think that Tottenham Hotspur is the greatest football team the world has ever seen. It might just be that, but there's no reason to get all angry with each other, you know. And I'm not saying that people are here, but I see a few channels here. I saw something this morning. I won't name it. People going at each other. Fuck me. I turned off after 2 minutes. It was just so fucking childish. Leanne Rolfe, Richie doesn't have to have the temperament to be a top player. That's an interesting comment, man. Okay. Sulky little child rolling all about all the time. Better off trying a new ST or getting a new one ASAP. See, I don't know, a lot, but I see what you're saying. To me, like, he kind of, it's almost like the opposite. Like, I think he kind of does have some of the temperament and behaviour of a football player, but he just can't play football very well at the moment. So, you know. Oh, Yossarian. Here we go. Right, here we go. Good old Yossarian comes in. Craig Moore. Oh, of course, Craig Moore. Craig Moore was cut from Ange's Raw, but Harry Kewell reportedly left Victory for family reasons when Ange arrived. Okay, but Craig Moore was the one I was thinking of, man. I know. I was using Harry Kewell as a point that he went coaching with him, but Craig Moore, big player. Craig Moore, huge Australian player, massive, and Ange got rid of him. That's what Ange does, man. Warrior without master. I'm sure Dier thought he was getting the captain's armband. I mean, it's laughable, but it could well be true. How wrong he was. Finally, a manager cut through the players' bullshit. Yeah, I'm happy, man. I'm behind with the comments here. Let me. Let's get this out here. Oh, sorry, I'm just messing around with the comments here. I know this is riveting viewing for you lot. That's why you should really consider a membership or a super chat to help my channel. Lockman, Eunice, I really hope that Levy out doesn't destroy Ange. I don't think it's going to happen, man, because I think Ange is too powerful. That's my hope, man. You've got to have hope. I'm not going to be all miserable. I can't be. What's the point? What's the point, man? You know, whatever I do and say isn't going to affect fuck all anyway. So I might as well be happy with the way things are going until it all goes to shit, and then Edward White of Oz, Ange gutted the Socceroos team. Yes, he absolutely did. That was another thing he did, and he did all right with it because we had a really crappy. Yeah, it was the previous World Cup prior to. So he did the 2014, the 2010. When was his name? Pim Verbeek. Horrible football. Horrible football. That Pim Verbeek, when he was manager of the Socceroos, he was like a company man. We're a small football minnow. We should play football in a pragmatic way. And then Ange comes in and just goes, Ben Williams, that 91 semi-final was the first game I ever saw live. Oh, nice one, man. Talk about setting the bar high. A special day, but totally agree. Ange creates that special energy. Well, he kind of fosters it. But you know what? I think, you know, okay, it takes one man to do it, but the fans were just crying out for it, weren't they? The way they lit up White Hart Lane on the weekend. They've always wanted to do it. They've wanted any excuse to do it, any flimsy excuse to do it. I know when I was there, and even in times when we were crap, you still can't somehow get going. But when you're playing dog shit football, you can't. Oh, here we go. Another member of the Hotspur hippie commune. Big up Paul, big up Mark. Big up Paul, just tuned in, and you were talking about 91. Who lifted the trophy that year? Here we go. Here we go. Mark's hero, Gary Mabbott, the one and only Gary Mabbott. I listened to his the podcast. What was it, Off the Shelf? Yeah, he's a top guy. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. Edward White of Oz, Levy out mob will fade away because Ange will save Levy's bacon. I don't care about politics, man. Leon Rolf, Dias, Sergio, Sanchez, and Ndombele, Davies, Hugo. You can't polish turds. Sanchez got a little bit of shine to him, didn't he? I mean, I'm not saying he's an answer, but he was a bit better. Too much wages for these average players. I'd agree with that, man. Flips MC, spot on. Australia has more to offer the game than the world realises just yet. Ange will remind. Yeah, I know. It's weird, isn't it? It's probably because their A League is crap. I'm hoping that they're bringing promotion and relegation in, that it'll make the competition a bit more football-y and a bit more interesting. But football is probably the widest participated in sport at a youth age. Everyone plays football over here. Everyone plays football. It's just that when you get to a certain age, I suppose somewhere in your teenage years, that if you're a good sports person, you get farmed off to other sports. But everyone does love playing football here. George McCarthy, let's hope everyone realises team changes take time. Yes, man. And understand what is achieved this season is instrumental to the performance next season. Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, I like what Ange was saying. He's changing it around a bit. He's going to find out what works for him, and we should just give him all that time. We had a great start against Man United. Couple of changes here and couple of changes there. It might be crap against Bournemouth, but it doesn't mean that Ange has lost the plot. He's just finding out what works and doesn't work. Paul G, thoughts on Basuma when you consider 25 million? What an absolute buy. I mean, he's great. He's great. I don't know what. I mean, he was a bit ill and injured and whatnot. And Conte last year. No, I love the guy. I think he's fantastic. I think he's amazing. Leanne Rolfe, not far off $1 million a week in wages that could be paid to better players. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And finally, because I'm going to end the stream here, folks. I just thought I'd come in and say hello. Mark Cousins, after listening to the podcast, you can understand why he's my hero. Oh, look, no. I've always understood why he's your hero, man, because, like, he was... Let me see, when did I start going? So, Perryman, I'm just going through the seasons. Who was captain? Perryman, Goff, Mabbott. So Mabbott was captain more than Perryman, but I you know, watching on TV and stuff. Oh yeah, no, he's great. He's no. He is a fantastic guy. He talked about diabetes again, and you know, yeah. But that was only part one, so I'm looking forward to part two. Anyway, folks, you know what? I'm going to call it a night there. I've been going nearly an hour. Thanks for you know, joining me here. I just thought I'd do a little impromptu thing. All of my streams tend to be off the cuff. I don't plan them because I can't plan. Because if I set something up for tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening or whatever, I might not feel like doing it then, and then I feel like I'm letting people down. So I'd rather just come on and do it when I like it, and when you're in the flow of the zen of the cosmos, you can come and join me. It's cool. So let me just see here. Okie dokie. I'll say good night, folks. Thanks for the super chats, Moondog. Thanks for all the comments, everyone else. And if you've just been watching, thanks for joining me. And I'll see you next time. I'll just say peace and love, man. Peace and love, and come on, you Spurs.